Alright, we're back and ready to continue. Where do we go now? Is Medi going to find a different way of racking up time? Is Kishan going to make any attempt at finding out what or who killed him? Day 2, 5 PM, outside the terminal. You right? Yeah, I guess. Cool. Mind if I join you? Go for it. Dairy? You want a dairy? I'm sorry, dairy. Coffin nail. Cigarette. Do you want a smoke or not? Oh, right, of course. Yeah, sure. Sorry, it's been a weird day. Thanks. No worries. Where are you from then? Huh. You're the first to ask. I live in Collingwood. Where else can you find an active nightlife scene amid active factories, shops and apartments built all during the 1800s? I have never heard of Collingwood. Oh, yeah? Whereabouts? Smith Street. Bit pricey up there these days, isn't it? Bet you like your Avo toast. Huh. Piss off. I've got housemates. Well, nah, I know what you mean. Bit odd. Being dead and all that. Takes some getting used to. Ned certainly knows what it's like to get used to being dead. People keep saying that, but it doesn't make me feel any better. I understand. Do you? I reckon as much as anyone can, yeah. Right. Hey, what's Avo toast actually taste like? Uh-huh. I've never had it. Can't you go out and just eat some? I'm sure Maddie could whip it up if you asked. Avocados are a highly malevolent fruit. Don't trust them one bit. Plus, I've got this whole situation. Oh, so that's what the straw was for. You got it. So what does it taste like? I don't know, like avocado and toasted bread. Avocado is kind of cold and mushy, but it's got a good taste. Like peas? Huh, definitely better than mushy peas. Love me a bowl of peas, mate. One famous Australian outlaw requested peas with a bottle of wine for his last meal before he was hanged. Huh. Interesting. I wonder if those kinds of stories are actually true. Like little fun facts about Australia. Whoa, because they're the only thing you can eat through a straw. Watch yourself. Gonna zap me with your Deaf Council powers. First off, it's the Council of Deaf, not a Deaf Council. They're totally different things. Secondly, you really think that's what we do? Walk around shooting lightning out of our fingers? Well, when you put it like that, it sounds a bit silly, yeah. We don't do anything like that. We just keep things running smoothly, is all. Harassing cafe owners to settle their time, that isn't something we like to do often. So you just keep the peace. As fucking ironic as that sounds, yeah. That keeps the peace. Dude. I know. Wants another? Sure. I love the sunrises here. They're alright. You watch many sunrises, Ned? Not enough, no. Even semi-immortals need their sleep. Liminal space tends to draw liminal people. I just like to sit here and watch it. Even when it's cloudy or raining, there's just something about watching the sunrise that makes it easier to deal with the coming day. Feeling optimistic all of a sudden? No, I still feel like shit. Huh. How about you, Kishan? Kishan? I don't feel great. I'm still having a lot of trouble. You guys, I'm dead and I've only got a couple of hours left before I have to go, and I don't think anyone here really properly understands what it's like to see your last sunrise ever without any idea of what comes next, and that is really fucking terrifying. And I'm never gonna see my friends or my boyfriend or my family again. I'm just gonna pass on and I'll never know how to remember me or mourn me, or if I'm even gonna be remembered as a good dude who tried his best, or I'll just be forgotten in a year. But that good dude who tried his best couldn't even win a frigging game of five-finger filler in the basement of a cafe that basically sits on the banks of the Styx as far as I can tell, and God, I can't even tell if that matters. Were the stakes low? High? I can't tell. I'm so disoriented and I'm trying so desperately to feel something, but all I feel is that I'm slipping away with every second. I'm losing myself by degrees, and that's incredibly scary, and I don't know how to deal with it. Yeah, fair cop. I actually came out to apologize for that. The game. Oh, for God's sake, Maddie, what have you been gambling again? Can it, Ned? Kishan, I shouldn't have taken that time from you. You took it fair and square. I don't feel like I did, so I'm giving it back. Believe me, I'm as surprised as you are. I don't usually do this. What's different this time? That's my business. You guys stern talking to from Jay? I can't believe I can't believe you're still swindling people out of hours to try and fix your debt. Dude, I know. It's bloody undignified. And it's a clear violation of the rules. I will banish you right now, my man. I thought you'd stopped pulling that crap once you took the ownership of the cafe from Jay. You really think doing this is going to help you pay this debt? Yes, absolutely. And if you've got any bright ideas on how to do it otherwise, I'm all ears. We should have never granted you and Jay those licenses to practice. The actions of reckless necromancers make a pretty good case for the importance of occupational licensing. You've obviously failed to be responsible with them. You really think we wouldn't be doing it if we didn't have the licenses, Bushman? Given your history, the hypocrisy on display here is astounding. That's all behind me, and you know it. I've been working on doing some good for the last 100 years. With the council? Really? Yes, we maintain the balance. You know why that's important. Sure do. I don't need you moralizing at me from your ivory tower. Give it a rest, guys. But I'm pulling the last day on Earth card. Quit it. I'll be inside. Come find me when you want those hours back, Kishan. For what it's worth. I'm sorry about all of this. I've never been to the other side. I was too afraid to leave. Walked the land for decades evading the council. That's a crime they call revenancy. Staying too long, upsetting the balance. But in lieu of booting me straight to the next place as some sort of eternal punishment, the council offered me a job. Ned may have forgotten some of the sins of his past, but he's pretty sure he wouldn't be going to heaven. Sorry, that's all stuff you don't care about, I suppose. It's interesting enough. Nah, I'm just filling up empty air. You should head inside and grab those hours back. Truth be told, I'm not feeling especially fond of Maddie right now. She might have been dishonest with you, but even I can tell she's at the end of her rope. And you might not be able to see it yet, but I think the people in there are fond of you. You think so? Maddie wouldn't have offered the hours back if there wasn't something different about you. Plus, that kid Ashley seems to like you, yeah? I guess. She kinda just dragged me off and got me to hold screwdrivers for her. Trust me, she thinks you're great. Go on, go inside and say hi. I've got some business to go stick my nose into anyway. Alright. Catch you in a bit. I've got some questions about the council. Of course, I won't be out for long. Later, mate. Hey. Yo. Do you want those hours back? I guess so. It's only 4 hours. I don't think it'll make much difference. If it's okay, I'd prefer that you have them. Ashley's been enjoying having you around. Just Ashley? And me too, I guess. You seem pretty reluctant to admit that, my dude. Don't psychoanalyze me. Sit still for a minute. Alright, lay your hand on mine and place your index finger on my wrist. This a part of your ritual or just an excuse to hold hands? Shut up. Thanks. Watch carefully, no matter what you do, don't move your hand. There's usually a binding spell I use to make sure that doesn't happen, but I've run out of the reagents required, and you probably don't care about that. True. Alright, yep. I give this time freely and without coercion. As above, so below. I maintain the balance. Oh. I maintain the balance. That's it. How do you feel? I actually feel better. I feel less itchy. Yeah, we weren't kidding about that yesterday. As you linger, you begin to upset the balance, and as I understand, it doesn't feel good. Right, yeah. Why does Ned get to stick around then? Does he just ignore it? The council are a special case. They're more similar to demigods or demons than they are to us. That's fascinating. Tell me about it. I'd have joined ages ago, but they're uptight dicks. They don't seem so bad to me. That's because you've not run into any of their ridiculous rules. Bunch of bloody regulations on manipulating life force and certain standards on the treatment of spirits. There's got to be a more inclusive term than human rights for all of the not quite human entities that are floating around. Is that why you gave me the hours back? Because Ned realized you broke the rules? No, that was all within the guidelines, despite his blustering. I gave them back because I felt bad, that's all. Oh, neat, so you pity me. I love that. I'm actually really into it. No, dude, it's not like that at all. No, you don't need to clarify, I get it. Seriously. Last day on Earth, moving on. Fine, sure. Sorry. Sorry, I've got to serve this customer. I'll help. Really? It's probably not a two-person job. Sometimes two people working on a task will be less efficient than one. Sometimes Kishan doesn't care. Yep. Come on. Day 2, 6 PM, the terminal. Whew. Anything else that needs doing? Nah, I'm gonna take this tray of glasses into the kitchen. You can go chill for a bit. I'll take them. You need a break. Sure. Where's the kitchen? That way. You'll find it eventually. Cool. Back in a minute. Playing chess.
Your pawns are nothing compared to the raw power of my castles.
Rook and castle both offer protection for the defending team, but rook seems to be more popular.
Nothing.
Yeah? What's this then? Oh. Castle got pawned.
Ah! My castle. Brought low by my own hubris.
No, it was just a pawn. And maybe a little bit of hubris? When Chase sees Ashley thriving, it's hard for him to feel like he's doing the wrong thing. Maybe that makes him overconfident, maybe it makes him just the right of confident. Bishop. Knight.
Ah!
Your other castle, and check.
Check, you say?
Uh-oh, I didn't think of that.
You activated my trap card.
Ashley, we're not playing Yu-Gi-Oh here.
Oh hey Maddie, come check this out. I tricked him into a false sense of security.
Oh man, that's embarrassing. You seriously let her outmaneuver you that hard? Yes, I'm very ashamed. I suppose the real hubris was inside me all along.
I freaking love winning. I should try doing this more often.
A chance win at chess. Could grow into a big winning streak, you know.
You wanna play something with us?
I should really head back down to the bar. There's nobody there. Come on, take a load off. If anyone really needs you, they'll know where to find you. How about I grab us all a drink, make sure there's nobody waiting down there, then we play something. Won't be 5 minutes.
You actually gonna come back this time? You never come back.
I'll come back. Promise. Why don't you pick out a game while I'm gone? Let's find something, Ashley. What do you feel like playing today?
Something with lots of dice.
What does that say? Off Germany. I'd like to know the first word of that. Oh, I didn't. Wait. There we go. The past tense of die is died. The plural of die is dice. Dice it is. We'll see you in a minute, Maddie. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Day 2, 6:15 PM. Ashley's workshop. Oh, well, she did come back. What? That looks like... that Warhammer?
And that's why the 4th season of Rogue Battle Royale was an absolute betrayal.
You still want to be on it one day?
Well, yeah. Unless an indie circuit opens up.
Like in wrestling?
Exactly like in wrestling. Melbourne's got a local show. I want something like that.
You could probably put your own local league together if you worked really hard.
Perhaps you could build the robots and get people to battle them? Human controlled bots are boring though. I want to get more of that spirit juice and put together a bigger Ashling.
Veteran necromancers will advise that the spirit juice is not something to play around with. Masters know that playing around is the best way to learn.
How big? I think I'll start at car-sized, then move on to more of a bus-adjacent form factor.
I'm not sure we have enough to power one of those. You'd have to get Medi to source you a large amount of it. We'd need liters of it at least.
That'd be super cool. Didn't you say it was illegal though?
Well, technically. But what Ned doesn't know won't hurt him. He'd lose his head if he knew half the things we were doing around here.
I don't know, he seems fairly lenient with you, right?
He wasn't always like that. A long time before you turned up, he nearly shut me down because would you believe it's because I shouted a criminal?
Ned nearly shut you down because of that? Am I thinking of the same criminal you are?
Trust me, the irony was apparent. I found it very, very funny.
What sort of criminal were they?
Just a minor demon on the run. Most demons aren't lucky enough to find someone as welcoming as Che, especially the ones that haven't had a chance to make a name for themselves. I don't know what she did to get a price on her head. I just took her in when she stumbled through the door, dripping blood everywhere.
That's metal.
It was extremely metal.
How long did you manage to hide her for?
Oh, not so long. Maybe 6 weeks. The time flew by, if I'm being honest.
Why is that? Was she from the clock realm?
No, nothing like that. We, bonded.
Magically? How do you do that? I thought I heard you telling Maddie that sort of thing was impossible between beings on this plane.
No, not magically. We were... lovers.
Ew. Yuck. Ew.
Happier days.
I love hearing about when you were young and reckless.
Gosh, what do you think I am now, huh? Old and boring?
Definitely old. Despite myself, I must say that you're definitely not boring.
There's that patented Maddie charm.
Well, you know me. I'm full of them.
Oh yeah. Charms. Hexes. Curses.
That's all on your account, old man.
I won't deny it. Hey, Maddie.
Hey, dude. Having trouble finding the kitchen?
Yeah, I couldn't. I checked everywhere.
It's just behind the bar, man. You can't miss it.
I told you I checked everywhere.
Nah, you're not catching my drift. It's just behind the bar. You can't miss it. Have another look. It'll be there this time. Sometimes you gotta remind the quantum hallways that they exist.
Fine. How long are we going to keep him here, Maddie?
Oh, we're keeping him? No, we're not keeping him. I'm going to let him stay as long as he wants. He'll leave on his own accord at some point.
You feel sorry for him?
Weirdly, yes. I don't usually get attached to customers, but he's a good dude. I like him.
Huh. Do you like him because he's nice, or because he was good at passing your tools over?
Yes. Don't get too attached. He's not going to be here forever. Well, duh, I know how it works. I'm going to enjoy having him around just like you taught me. Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. Ashley, that's from the motivational calendar I threw out last week. I never said that. Same. I'm used to people moving on is the point. I can deal with it.
Good. Day 2, 6:30 p.m. The terminal. Oh, Ned's back. Fuck. You gonna keep staring at the coffee stain or no? Yes. Okay, whatever. What do you want from this conversation? I'm an open book as far as matters of life and death are concerned. Yeah, I don't want to go. I know you've probably heard this from, I don't know, 1,000 people or whatever.
Given the amount of traffic the terminal gets and how long it's been open, 1,000 people is a pretty low estimate.
It's not about staying around for people or wanting to go back to my old life. As wonderful and not stressful as that sounds. Like, I'm not afraid of what lies on the other side. I don't think there's any point to worrying about it until I'm there. I just don't think I've spent enough time here.
In the cafe?
No. All this, I guess you call it this plane. Roughly speaking, I suppose so. I want to know what you did to be able to stay.
Sure. Did Maddie give you those hours back?
Yeah, why?
Well, that's the way. You can just find enough hours to stay as a spirit. Half here, half gone. But it's a wretched existence. I wouldn't want to live like that.
How would you find the hours though? There's only so many you can get from consenting beings, right?
The crappy psychology of gambling aside, you're right, yes.
So the question is, how do you do that? How do you create life from nothing?
The answer is that you can't, Kishan. It's impossible. There's always got to be some sort of balance maintained. Everyone who learns to manipulate the fundamental life forces understands that no matter whether they're doing good or bad things with their skills. Here's the thing though. You don't need both parties to agree. It's just a social nicety, something that separates us from, well, people who don't do that. That's where the idea of vampires came from, for example. Those bastards. They're not special or anything, they're just dickheads. Anyway, if you can take life force from people, you can also drain it from animals or plants. But in this business, there's a lot we don't or can't understand. One of the things we can't understand is why life force from animals and plants is tainted. It feels gross. If it didn't, everyone would take it, consequences be damned. How were you feeling today before Maddie took the hours back?
I felt like I was slipping away. Like my mind was really foggy.
It's scary to run when it's foggy. You don't know what you might be running toward. Ah, a reference to the other story. That's nice.
It was really hard to think or put sentences together. Nobody really noticed though.
Typical. Imagine that, but 10 times worse. You're foggy, but there's also something fundamentally wrong. Like you're a collection of puzzle pieces that don't quite fit together. So, was that story early on in episode 4, was that a future where, like, telling what happens to Kishan once he actually leaves this plane and goes to wherever? Could be.
Like an engine that's running out of oil. That sounds horrifying.
Right.
So, should I do it?
Probably not.
How would I stay otherwise?
Well, you could always go in the lab. Just run for it.
But you catch me.
Not me personally, but yes, the council would eventually.
And that's it? That's my only option?
Perhaps. Depends on how you feel about bonding your soul for eternity to a fundamentally neutral arbiter of justice. The downside of neutral arbiters is that they're never on your side.
I have no strong feelings about it one way or another.
Smart ass. Would you regret if you stayed here forever instead of moving on?
I don't know, I guess that'd be up to me, right?
How do you mean?
In the end, how I feel about taking a big branch in my life is just a matter of how I frame it. I can focus on what I'll regret, sure, but it's not a useful way to spend my time. If I focus on the future, on everything that's in the possibility space instead of outside of it, that's probably better for me, yeah?
Sure.
You don't sound convinced. I'm just ambivalent on it. I try not to think about anything too hard these days. But if you're willing to accept eternal bondage with the council, I can keep you here. It's not easy work though. You have to act in the best interest of the system, not its individual parts. Bureaucracy at its finest. How did you learn to deal with it? Just took some time. When you're used to it, you learn not to think too hard about what you're doing. As long as you take a holistic view of everything, things generally shake out alright. We tend to only bother the biggest rule breakers anyway. Maddie being one of them.
Habitually. She wouldn't be getting so much leeway if it weren't for Jay.
I don't understand that guy. He's nice, we've chatted a bit. But what makes him so special? He's provided services in the past. I can count on one hand the number of people who know as much about the manipulation of life force as he does. He's been researching it for over 100 years. A lot has changed since the days when Che was a young man. No way, he's that old? He looks like 60 max.
I'd say he looks like about 30 max.
Yep, much older than that. Wild. We're getting sidetracked though. How do you feel about joining the council? I don't hand out offers willy-nilly, you know? I'm interested, but can I have some time to think about it? How much time do you have? You've been out for nearly 25 hours. You're overdue. Put it on Maddie's tab. Okay. I assume you're not going to stick around forever. Unlikely if the next hours are anything like how I felt this morning. I'll stick around until you have a solid answer then. Cool. Wanna get drunk?
We're already drinking, mate.
Nah, Jay told me about something pretty special he's got behind the bar.
Unless it's something really special, he's probably offered me some. And even then...
So you've tried the bottled soul?
You pulling my leg?
Nope.
You've got to be mistaken. You haven't seen it in person, have you?
Yeah, I actually have seen it.
That's quite illegal. I expected better from him. Damn it.
So, are we going to drink it or not?
Council regulations require me to confiscate it, or force the owner to dispose of it. Drinking is one way to dispose of it, I guess. Ned doesn't steal anymore, he just confiscates.
We'd be doing him a favor then.
I suppose.
Come on, dude. Jay said it'd knock you flat.
When you say you, do you mean me or you? Or just anyone who drinks it?
Anyone. It's like 200% alcohol or something.
That's not technically possible, but I'll admit my interest is piqued.
Well, let's not waste any time.
Damn it. This was a setup, wasn't it?
Basically. You in?
Fine. Oh, this looks deadly.
Good thing dead people can't get alcohol poisoning.
Hey.
To bureaucracy.
Huh. To bureaucracy. Yo. Your order's arrived.
Oh. Your order's arrived?
3 days late, mate. Got held up by a mutual acquaintance of ours. Ah, shit. That'll explain why he's in my hair. I'll be there in half an hour.
Okay.
The catabasis is considered to be a vital part of the hero's narrative. Every hero goes to hell at some point, and in the stories they usually come back, which is the bit that seems weird to me. I don't think that's how it works in real life. The cafe has had a bunch of heroes come through and claiming that they were going to conquer hell and come back. They never returned as far as I saw. The idea of catabasis is that, in the grand scheme of things, hell, or the underworld, or Hades, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, it's on the outside of wherever we are, like we're trapped inside the sphere and we leave it to go to hell. Did the ancient Greeks ever consider that maybe we've been outside the whole time, just waiting to get in? Maybe they did. Matter of perspective, I guess. I'll ask one sometime if I ever meet one. But perhaps we're just waiting our entire lives for this, to pass through the firmament to the next place. To be driftwood that washes up on the shore of whatever the next place actually is. Seems weird, but maybe that's where we're naturally meant to be. I'm thinking it's possible that this world isn't some sort of proving ground or anything.
Maybe it's just a waiting room. A beautiful, flawed, complex waiting room. Personally, I don't think there's anything like heaven or hell waiting for us. No judgment either. The world doesn't ever operate in binaries or absolutes. That's just flawed human thinking projected onto things that are much, much more complex than they can ever perceive. And I don't think what's waiting on the other side is even something that we can conceptualize. I bet it's cool. It's a shame that it's a one-way trip though.
No one else gets to speak. Well, that's quite a lot of words. Yeah, we're taking confiscate. Let's take dice. 2-person job. We'll definitely take that, whatever it is. Licenses to practice. Collingwood. And I'd like to take foggy, but it doesn't really let me. Was standard's a word? Actually neutral. I remember neutral. Law? That's a new one. Ned. Death. Kishon. Melbourne. Che. And lore. Alright. We almost got all uniques, but lore twice. We haven't had it so far, so that's good.